And so the lesson today is I think it's a really special lesson because it's a lesson that the class is familiar with, Socratic seminar. But then we're doing something new today, and that's why we've pushed all the desks aside. And we're going to work on something new today, and we have some intentions, and yeah.
So we are going to start with Speed Geeking, right? I told us that we're going to try something new today. Yesterday, I gave you guys the prompt that you should have read and researched for. So we already took our notes on this. We already have our answer. When we come into our circle, which we'll explain in a minute, you can have your notes page and your Percy Jackson book in case you need the extra support. Those are the only, oh, and probably a pencil. Those are the three pieces of material that you can come into a circle with. We are going to really focus on feedback today, okay? So I want us to be able to talk to a partner. You're going to talk to a partner, and you're going to give feedback that is three things. We are not talking while I'm talking. It's giving us three things. It needs to be kind, it needs to be specific, and it needs to be helpful feedback.
Can I add something?
Yes, of course.
So I visit schools around the world, and feedback is the most powerful thing in impacting students' learning. And there's such a thing as powerful feedback and poor feedback. And so the lesson that we've designed is really to help you give each other powerful feedback. And so we've designed three things. We've talked about three things, and you were just referencing these three things. Feedback, in order for it to be powerful, it needs to be kind feedback, it needs to be specific feedback, and it needs to be helpful feedback. A lot of students I see at other schools, they do kind really well. They say things like, good job, I liked what you did, well done. But in order to impact the learning, we need to do specific and helpful. So today's lesson is really nudging you to get to these other two anchor charts today. That's why we've written some of these sentence stems up there, because as we walk through the room, we're going to listen for you using that language. We're going to ask you to look at that language as you're giving each other feedback. And we may even pause the lesson and encourage you to give more of that feedback and use that language. So that language is there. It's not as a cheat sheet. It's as a prompt for you to use it throughout the whole lesson to reinforce the good behaviors and powerful feedback piece that we're hoping happens today. Fingers crossed. So Speed Geeking, did you share what it looks like a little bit yesterday?
No.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So the reason we pushed all the desks aside is because we wanted a lot of space in the middle of the room to have two circles. There's going to be an inside circle of chairs, and the inside circle is going to face the outside circle. So I'm going to maybe have a seat here, and I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to have a partner right across from me, and that's my partner for the first round. So there's going to be an inside circle and an outside circle. Cool. Now, as we're slowly getting ready, I'm way over here. Kind of get eyes and ears up here. Can you imagine I do this same lesson with my own high school students? So I teach seniors at my high school. We do the exact same lesson. And the reason we do it is because the students are able to face each other and give full and complete attention to the task that they're engaged in. And the challenge is for you to give each other feedback to get ready for Socratic seminar later on today. But the feedback needs to be kind, specific, and helpful. So you know what we're going to do? Inside circle friends, you're going to be the feedback provider. You're going to be the listener first. So like Javion's happy because Javion can see the posters right now. He can look up and think, okay, I'm listening for how I can give kind feedback, specific feedback, and helpful feedback. Now, if you can't see these anchor charts, you know what the teachers in the room expect you to do? To turn and look and turn and look and turn and look. So it may feel like disrespectful not to give the person your eyes the whole time, but it's okay to do so in this activity because this is the important stuff that we want you to be able to give when you're giving each other feedback. So we're going to start, Ms. Velasquez, with the outside circle sharing first. Is that right?
Yes.
Inside circle is going to give each other feedback. Yeah. Any additional prompts for them or nudges?
No, that's it. I just handed you a worksheet. It has the same criteria. This is where you can take notes for your partner where it says, I learned. There are 3 separate questions that you can answer to help you figure out where can I give my partner some feedback. Because when I was talking to Mr. McKenzie, I told him sometimes my scholars will stop at, that was really good, or your work was not very organized. And I really want you guys to help each other get to higher skill levels. So you're going to look at these 3 questions if you need the help to give your partner some feedback. Okay? And like we said, it is kind, it is specific, and it is helpful feedback. Okay? Yeah?
Now, your teacher and I, we're just going to walk through the room and we're just going to listen. And we're going to listen for kind, specific, and helpful. And we may give you reminders. Like if we don't hear it, I may say, hey, use that second anchor chart. Pick one thing from there. So if you hear us come around and suggest something, it's actually us giving you feedback on giving feedback to your friend. So can you imagine that? Feedback for feedback. There's a lot of feedback today. Okay, let's rock and roll. Let's give the outside circle a chance to go. It's probably going to take how many minutes, you think? Let's start with your teacher and I are going to listen and watch and see how much time you need, and then we'll adjust as we go. So you're definitely going to have time to go thorough and detailed in what you've prepared to share. And then the feedback provider, we're going to give you a few minutes also to give feedback. So let's see how long it takes. You know what it shouldn't take? It shouldn't take a little dose of time. It should be rich, meaningful time, shouldn't it? So I don't know how many minutes that is yet, but we're going to be watching and listening and see how much time you need.
3.
All right, let's get started. Outside circle friends, you can start sharing your response. Go for it, please.
I like how you said that.
The chapter 4, page 45. However, says, the less you knew, the fewer methods you reviewed achieved.
Okay.
I'd like to lift up one thing that I'm hearing as feedback that I think is really positive. I'm hearing some of you share feedback that isn't just about how someone spoke, like you were clear, you were loud enough, you were confident. You were focusing on feedback on what they said, the evidence they used, and whether the evidence was strong enough. And if it wasn't strong enough, it could be better, and how could it be better? I even heard one scholar, and I'm not going to point them out, say something like, well, the quote I found was on page 19. Did you find that one? And the other scholar said, no, show me. And then the one student opened up their book and showed them the quote on page 19. So for me, that's kind, it's specific, talking about evidence, and it's helpful because they actually said, here's a quote that's better. I love that. What's one thing you heard that you loved?
Actually, it's something I saw right away. These look, listen, and learn pages are new for us, but I saw a few of us already using them as note-taking devices, I guess. Somewhere where you can keep track of what your partner said. That way you can be really specific when you are telling them exactly what you heard them say. And I think that was a really, really good skill that I did not explain very well to use in. So I really appreciate that we started using those right away. Good job.
In a moment, we're going to shuffle up the groups. You're going to have a new partner. But I'm wondering, what are you going to do differently in the next round? You individually, what are you going to do differently the next round? Yeah, it is and you don't have to answer. It's a thinking question, right? It's a thinking question. What are you going to do differently in the next round? Do you feel like you articulated and explained what you prepared well enough? The person that was giving the feedback, do you think you gave powerful feedback that was kind, specific, and helpful, or could you improve? So what was his feedback?
His feedback was saying that my why needed to be more stronger, but he liked how I said why, but it needed to be more stronger.
Did he give you a suggestion on how to make it stronger?
Yeah, adding more detail.
More detail. So you have 1 or 2 options right now as we wait for everybody else. Option number 1 is you could quickly try to find more detail and add it so you're ready for Socratic. Or option number 2, you can give him feedback on his feedback. You can say, I really liked your feedback because I think getting the evidence out of here to make Socratic better is a better use of time.
Okay.
And you know what? You don't have to do it alone. You guys could do it together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. You're doing that right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm writing
Yes.
down my evidence.
Yeah. I'm going to get everyone's eyes and ears up here. I know I'm interrupting. I'm way up here at the front. I'm just curious, can I get a show of hands? How many people feel like they're done giving feedback this round? Okay, about half of you. Okay, hands down. So for the half of you that are done, I'm still going to give you another couple minutes. You know what I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do if you're done? It's to make your response better given the feedback that was just provided to you. So right here, it was, I'm sorry, I forget your name. Was it Javion?
Yeah.
And your name is?
Ted.
Pardon me?
Ted.
Ted. Ken. Thank you, Ken. Ken gave Javion feedback. Now Javion's actually opening up his novel and finding evidence to make his response stronger. So Javion, you got 2 minutes to make your Socratic response stronger. Those of you who are not yet done giving feedback, you have 2 more minutes. Sounds good? 2 minutes. Go for it. Just got feedback. No, what was it? You gave feedback. Is that right? What was the feedback you gave?
I said that he did good.
So that's kind, right? Yeah.
And he said, but his mom did a lot.
When this is dodged tactics, it would have helped him to
Percy Jackson.
he would have understood the situation better. He wouldn't have been and understand the instinct that
Yeah. So you can give a more detailed response. Was that helpful enough for you?
Yeah.
Did you add it to your response?
I don't have space. 'Cause, like,
Oh, you got to. Do you want me to get you a sticky note or something?
Yeah.
Or write really small. Write really small.
right on the back.
Or write on the back. Yeah. And then I'm wondering, is there anything else that he said that's worth writing down?
That was it.
That was it. And then did he give you feedback that was helpful? And you got to write that down. Do you remember what it was? It was about being more specific with your response. And he gave you feedback? Was it helpful? Okay. And did you add it to your response? No, you're going to do that right now? Okay, that's
He
good.
said
That you need
I'm going to slide through again.
that you need that.
Warm up to the Socratic seminar. I know. And you know why it's a warm up? It's because of one thing I'm seeing. I'm seeing so many of you, Ken's doing it right now, adding ideas to your responses. That is such a strength. The feedback is only helpful if you use it. And so when I asked Ken and Javion to go add to their responses, I saw many other students start to do the same thing. Another strength was we were talking to 2 scholars and we said, do you think you can give feedback that's kind? And the scholar said, I already did. And then we said, which of these did you use? And then they realized they hadn't used these yet. These are here for you to use. How many people have looked at these anchor charts throughout this activity and actually used some of the amazing? Pat yourself on the back. We want you to do more of that. Got it. This next round, so outside circle friends, you're going to read your response to the inside circle. Inside circle friends, you're giving feedback. The feedback needs to be what?
nice, kind, specific, and helpful.
Can we all say that together at the same time? Kind,
Okay.
specific, and helpful. Yes, I love it. Kind, specific, and helpful. We're going to give you a few minutes to engage in the sharing first. And as soon as the sharing from the outside's done, the inside circle can give their feedback, kind, specific, and helpful. Go for it, please. One move I just made over there with 2 students was the feedback that was given. I asked the feedback provider, does the feedback also pertain to your response? And he said yes. And so now that they're done, they have time to both look
Kinda
for the same
collaborate.
feedback
Got
and
it.
apply it to each of the responses.
That's really good.
So that's an extension, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get your attention way up here, way up here. And I know I'm interrupting you, I'm sorry. I'm going to give you more time. I've heard several scholars give feedback that actually applies to their own response. I know.
That's fire.
That's really interesting, isn't it? You said that's fire. I say that's really interesting. The scholar said, well, maybe you should find some quotes to back up your response. And then I said, do you need to find quotes to back up your response? And the scholar said, yes. And I said, now that you're done giving feedback, you have a little bit of action time to go each find quotes to back up your response. So if you're giving feedback that actually applies to yourself, guess what you're doing?
You're doing it too.
You're doing it too. You're in learning mode, and you're making your response better. So can you see how this is going to make Socratic Seminar next level Socratic Seminar? Because of the thinking and the learning and the feedback in the room right now. I'm even wondering, do we need to do Socratic Seminar because the learning's so good right now? I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
But I need you to be using the feedback to guide your responses. So you know what? Don't wait for us to tell you when you're done, because you're not really done. You're always improving your response based on the feedback. We're going to give you a couple more minutes, okay? Go for it, please. Well, what we should see is sequentially it should improve as the lesson goes on.
Yeah.
The first round shouldn't be as strong as later on. And I think we're
Exactly.
starting to see that.
Yeah,
Do you
no,
agree?
definitely. Even like my kids who came in without an answer were like, okay,
They've gotten
I know
something.
Where to look. Yeah.
What have they gotten? They've gotten it because they're listening. And they're,
And
yeah.
their partners are actually saying like, what if you talked about this part? And even, yeah.
Yeah, good. So did you guys actually find a quote? You know I was bragging about you guys when I said that last thing, right? You know I was talking about you? Okay, just to make sure. Good job.
Okay, initially we were going to do just 2 rounds and then transition to Socratic Seminar, but London convinced me we can use this as evidence for Socratic Seminar. So you are going to have the chance right now to think about all the feedback, look at the feedback that you have been getting from your partners, your 2 partners. It's been really good. You guys are going to have the chance to just on your note page, if you need to, rewrite your response to our Socratic Seminar prompt. That way you have all of the feedback in there. You use everything that your classmates gave you.
Right? It's like oversight. Like I'm just looking at all this writing and I want to know what's new writing and what's old
Javion
writing.
will tell you. Javion, where did your answers start in the beginning?
Like today, what's new today based on everything we've done?
Basically, this whole thing.
Basically that whole thing.
Basically, I didn't have no pages. And
Yeah.
then when I even said to Kid, he needs more pages, I thought to myself, I don't even have a page. And,
Yeah.
And then I added more details on why I said this.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, how does it affect him? So I explained more and how did it affect him. And more quotes of what they said and what the mom.
I'm going to ask you what I feel like is an obvious question, but maybe you'll surprise me. What are you more proud of, the first thing you came in with or what you are doing right now? Okay, that's good. That's why feedback's important, right? Good. That was good. Can I ask you a question? You've got such neat writing.
Not really.
No, it's really neat. So what's new writing today? Like you came in with stuff, and where did you start adding to it? Is this all the
pretty
new
much-
writing?
So this is something that's already in, but I'm just placing my evidence. This and this is also new.
Gotcha.
It's because I wanted to back up my response even more.
Are you happy that you added this?
Yes,
Yeah.
because it helps other people understand my point.
Yeah. Yeah. In what way?
In what way? So, basically, I say it was not fair for Percy's mom to keep the truth from him because Percy will find out sooner or later and will be less prepared like he was in chapter 1 and 4. I did not put the evidence right after that, which would sometimes leave the reader confused.
Gotcha. And so is that what you added down below? Is you added evidence to back that up? Yeah, that's amazing. Cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Love it. Can I ask you a question? What of everything on your pages is new today that you didn't have when you walked in? Can you show me what's new writing?
About seeing what if it's fair or not.
Meaning what I'm asking, so did you come in with all of this
Yeah.
and then you added this side?
Yeah.
Or did you just add this side? This little bit? The whole thing?
Yeah.
And does this make your response better?
Yeah.
How?
Because it shows how it's fair or not and what the story is.
Yeah?
And then some more add on right there.
What do you mean what the story is? What do you mean by that?
Like, or my response or whatever it is. About Percy Jackson finding out that he's half.
So more detail. More detail? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your name?
Amari.
Amari, nice to meet you. That's awesome. Are you ready to share your final response? We're going to rotate, and then you're going to have a new partner, and you're going to share your final response. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so. I think your teacher's so impressed with all the sharing that's happened today that she's done. Ms. Velasquez, this last round. So we'll have the inside circle friends read first. And is the outside circle giving feedback?
No, I think we're just going to say it was a 1 through 4 for our grading scale of a Socratic seminar response.
Okay.
So, for example, Zoe's going to tell Ayana that was a 4 Socratic seminar response. Because at this point, we've had 2 rounds of feedback. We've had a few minutes of editing our papers and adding up whatever details we want. So I want to see if we were going into Socratic seminar, what grade does your classmate think you would be getting? Because we're pretty good at...
And why?
And why,
And why?
yes,
So it's not
yes.
just enough to say, I think that's a 3. We want to hear, I think that's a 3 because, and have you justify your peer assessment. Can I ask you girls a question? I'm totally interrupting you. I'm sorry. Do you feel like this activity helped your writing?
Yeah.
Okay, you said that really quick. Why?
Because I get a bunch of feedback from a bunch of different people. Instead of just one person giving me feedback, I get to go to a lot of
Multiple perspectives.
perspectives on my writing.
What was different about the feedback today than other times you've gotten feedback?
Other times we get feedback, we just partner up with one person and that's the feedback that we get.
Yeah.
Like go to multiple people.
Yeah. How did you find it today? Was it helpful?
I found it helpful because, like, I got to move around to different people and see what they gave me my feedback. So instead of just one person, I got, like, a couple people's feedback so I could change some things from different people's feedback.
Yeah. Was the feedback better today than it usually is?
Yeah.
You got to tell me why.
I just think that a lot of people helping me is like this. I also look to add to mine because other people do it more. And if I agree on that, I get more feedback that I get to add to my writing.
Gotcha. Anything to add? How come the feedback was better this day than other days?
This day because I used your, and like, it's not like I'm saying, I'm the same.
Yeah.
I added more pages.
I
added more evidence, way more evidence.
Yeah. Did those posters help you?
Yeah.
Did those posters help you? Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's do it. Yeah. Okay, friends, we'll come back together. I just had a lovely conversation here with scholars, and I asked them, was today's activity helpful for your writing and improving your writing? Could you do me a favor? On a scale of 1 to 3, 3 being, oh my gosh, that lesson helped my writing so much. 1 being, nah, it was kind of fun, but not really helpful. Could you show me your fingers? How helpful was today?
I think pretty. This helped me way good.
1 to 3.
T-Mac, you did it.
I love you guys. I'm seeing all 3s and a couple 2s. Okay, fingers down, fingers down. So I have to be really clear because I say the same thing to my high school students, and I think you all are ready for it. I say lessons like this matter, but my high school students, they can do this without me. Yeah, meaning there's nothing stopping my high school students from having conversations about their learning, whether it's outside of class or during free time or when I say turn and talk. They learn how to give each other feedback without me prompting them to give each other positive feedback. So now my expectation is we're going to leave these posters out. We're going to use them. But these are just reminders as to how we can all improve the quality of our work if we're all engaging in these all the time. I really love this rotation activity, this circle activity we did. But sometimes we're not going to do this circle activity, and we're just going to ask you to give each other feedback that looks like this. And slowly over the course of the school year, my high school students just start to take ownership over giving each other positive feedback, powerful feedback, just like you did today. I think the last round was light years better than the first round. Was the last round better for you all? Yeah.
More evidence and all that.
More feedback, more evidence. And so my hope is that we continue to build on the feedback from this last round as we continue to grow as readers and writers and thinkers. And scholars, could you raise one arm nice and high and then bend at the elbow and give yourself a nice pat on the back? And teachers, we're going to quietly exit the room and go back to our debrief room, okay? Thank you, scholars. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. I'm definitely going to come back. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Good job, Amari.
I'll see you when I have